Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from to this LinkedIn Live event. And today I have a very special show for you. And I would probably want to remind you that today it is about the session for pharma founders, the two crystal balls to scale your startup in 2026. So, my name is James Perera, and I'm the founder of the Seven Figure Pharma Accelerator program. And this program was developed to help pharma startups that have at least one commercialized product and revenues between 1 to 10 million to double their revenues within 2 years or less. So, we are going to look at the two crystal balls that will help you scale your startup in 2026. And these are two tools that I have used in the past. And I can assure you that once I started using these tools, your business is going to be a lot smoother with a lot less friction. And that's how you scale your startup. So, as I mentioned, I'm the founder of the Pharma Accelerator program. And if you want to see how we double the sales, all you have to do is scan this QR code or even type this URL into your browser, and you will reach a Calendly link where you will be able to schedule a session with me. And during that session, I will reveal where the blocks or hurdles or kinks in your business are at this moment and what you need to do. And if you feel that it is right for us to work together, then we shall do so. And if you feel it isn't, that's fine as well. So, no obligations whatsoever. Now, I would like to, before I go into this, I just want to also reveal that when I used those two tools, those crystal balls in the past, I used the second one first. I'm going to be showing you one, the major one, and then I won't say minor one, but equally important, but that comes at a later stage. I used the second one first in the early 1990s. And I was not involved in the first one until the year 2000. And each time I use each one of these, and from the year 2000 onwards, using both together, there was a huge difference in the revenue generation. So that's how you scale by using these two tools. Now, the I would like to hear before we go any further. How many of you here, let me just have a look at the comments. Here is a pharma founder. If you are a pharma founder, or you are in the pharma industry, if you're a founder or if you're a CEO or some other role, just type into the comment box what your role is. You don't need to name your organization, just the role would do. If you're CEO, just put in the CEO. If you're founder. And if you have some other role, whatever it is, just type it in. That'll give me an inclination of who is here. And it will help me tweak my presentation as well. Now, if by any chance you are not from the pharma industry, then state which industry you're in and also the role that you play in that industry. And I also like to take this opportunity to appreciate you attending today's session. The most recent weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. My wife, my younger son, and I, we binge watch Lord of the Rings, the extended version in Prime Video. Now, I watched that movie, the first installment in the year 2001. And my younger son is the one who alerted us that it's available on Prime Video, and he is a fan of Lord of the Rings. So we took this opportunity to watch it, and it was lovely. And I can tell you that when I watched it the second time, 25 years later, imagine a quarter century has passed, I realized that in the Lord of the Rings, a crystal ball is known as a palantir. And the plural of palantir is palantiri. So we are going to be talking about two palantiri today that will help you scale your startup in 2026. And also, just to reveal to you that I have been in the pharma industry for the last 39 years, 22 of which I was an employee in multinational pharma companies. And since 2013, I have been working with pharmaceutical organizations um, globally of various sizes and also different industries. Some are pharmaceuticals, some are also medical devices as well. And in my years in pharma as an employee, while using these two crystal balls or the Palantir, it has helped me to launch products that have become market leader within 6 months. It has helped me turn a dying, a sinking division to match the previous year's sales and grow. And I've also taken using these two crystal balls of Palantiri to revive division to become the market leader in its category within a 2-year period. So that's the power of these crystal balls of Palantiri. So why this topic? Why did I choose this topic? When I did the LinkedIn Live last month, what I noticed is that there were two questions that came in towards the end. One was a question on how to speed up production, i.e., manufacturing, because there were some kinks in the manufacturing process. Now, what was not clear was whether it was the manufacturing in this person's own organization, or it was in a CADMO that they partnered with. And the second was a question on how to position the services that this person was providing, which was a low cost service. So, how could this person differentiate themselves? Because I was referring to positioning in that last LinkedIn live. So, these two topics I felt are extremely important, especially since we are at the beginning of the year. Even more powerful if you get things right now. I mean, 1 month has passed, you still have another 11 months to get the ball rolling and hit your targets. So that's the reason why I've done this topic. And it was pretty clear from these two questions that either one of the crystal balls were not done or one was not done. And if it was done, if either of these were done or both were done, it was not done effectively. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. Now, stay till the end when I'm going to be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a tool that will help you get into the mind of an investor who you're looking for to fund your business, so if that's what you're looking for. And so stick to the end. I'll show you how you can get there. Now, you have all heard of this cliche about planning. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Now, yeah, it's a cliche, so it probably has been overused, but I would like to give another analogy here. Have a look at this image of two pilots in a plane's cockpit. And what you can observe is that the windows have been blacked out. They can't see. There's no visual sight for them. So their visual sense is completely no, not is not available. And the instrument panels, imagine if the instrument panels also have blanked out. That would mean that you are flying blind. If you're on the tarmac, that's perfectly fine. But imagine if this happens while in flight. That would mean you have no clue where you're going. You have no clue um, where your position is. And guess what? If you are flying over land, you could most probably smash into a mountain, and that's the end of your flight. So that's the analogy that I'm going to be sharing with you. We are going to go through with the crystal ball is all about planning, but not just any type of planning. I'm going to go through the what, how, and when of these two crystal balls. I will not go through the details because that will take an entire webinar or masterclass or a series of classes actually. So the first one is what I call the founder operating blueprint, or FOB or FOB, if you want to pronounce it that way. And the founder operating blueprint. So I do not like to call it the corporate business plan or the of the company business plan because it has been overused. And these are the reasons why I hate the phrase or the terminology business plans, because it is all about theory. And because it is theory, it becomes a game. And I played this game as well. In the pharma companies that I was hitting, the divisions that I was hitting, um, it was so theoretical and it became a game because if you have ever done one or you have participated or had any um, uh, input in these business plans, you would have realized that whatever draft that you submit to the head office, it is never accepted. You may have to do it, you may have 2 or 3 iterations before they decide to accept um, your final version. So it takes many iterations before they accept it. So it becomes a game. At the end of the day, it's all about satisfying the guy who sits in the head office, his big desk and big chair, who is ticking off all the boxes to see if you have, fulfilled the template. It becomes a template. So that's where the theory is. And once it is done, I've done it and I've seen others do it as well. It is put into the drawer and it gathers dust. It's never seen until the next year, if at all. And then you just take it and put it into your trash bin. Therefore, it is never reviewed. It is not a dynamic document. It is a static document that is done to satisfy somebody else. And therefore, it is also non-executable. So if you don't review it, if you don't see your plans, there's no way you're going to execute it either. So that's why I hate that. And I prefer to use founder operating blueprint. So when do you create this FOB, as I like to call it in short form? Now, let's take it right to the beginning. Let's assume that you are just starting your business or you have an idea to start your business. That is when you should create your FOB. And it doesn't have to be complex. It can even be one page, but it needs to capture very important things, which I'll be going through in a short while, very briefly, what it needs to capture and why you need to capture it as well. So that's when you start a simple one page and very important stuff you need to capture. Of course, name of your business, what is the category that you're going to be innovating in, uh, what type of funding are you looking for and where will you get this funding? And what the business outlook is going to be, let's say, um, after the product has been approved, what is the revenue that you're going to generate over the first 10 years, the profits, the expenses, and so on, as well as you will also have to give or capture input about your clinical trials, your preclinical stage, as well as your clinical trials. So all that needs to be captured. So you got to get it done before you seek funding, because an investor is going to ask you for your operating blueprint. And if you don't have it, they're not going to take you seriously. You will look like an amateur and that they will think that it's a hobby. Remember, they are investing to get returns. So you need to be serious about it as well. And this is the reason why I'm offering that free bonus at the end that will help you get into the mind of an investor, whether it's an angel investor or even a venture capitalist, or even your family and friends who may want to invest in your business, who you're looking for seed funding as well. And you got to do this every year. Every year, you got to create a new founder operating blueprint. So that's the when. Let's have a look at the how. How means after you have done this, you need to review it at least quarterly. Don't need to review it monthly, but at least quarterly, if not twice a year, half yearly. And when you are creating this and when you are reviewing the operating blueprint, get all the heads of the different departments involved and any other relevant people, including your partners, your CDMOs or your AI partners who are helping you with drug discovery and so on. Get everybody involved, because the more heads there are that are involved, the more problems that they can foresee, and therefore this doesn't become it doesn't remain a theoretical exercise, but an executable one. And as I said earlier, one page. So start early, right from the beginning, before you start your business. And if you don't have one now, it's never too late. Get one done immediately. And you don't need to spend too much time. You can get one done within 30 days maximum. If you really put your heart and mind into it, you can probably get it done within 2 weeks, but you really need to spend a lot of time and thought on getting it done. Remember, it's not theory, it's something that you want to get, which is a living document. Let's have a look at the what now. Now, why is or rather, what's the reason that the operating blueprint is so important? And this is what it needs to contain. It needs to have the founder intent. You need to have inside your form the reason why you have started this company, reason why you are entering this category, you are innovating in this category, what your idea is. And the reason why investors look for this is because research has shown those without passion do not have resilience, and therefore they will not see the game to the end. They will leave halfway through, or when problems hit, they'll be gone. So no investor wants to invest in people or in founders who do not have a strong intention or intent. And secondly, you got to anchor your growth figures that you plan for in real world demand, not internal assumptions. Don't create pie in the sky figures. So what this means is that you may have to go down to the ground. You may have to speak with healthcare providers. You may have to speak with peers. You will have to speak with patients as well. So try to capture as much of these before or while you are creating your blueprint. And when you do this, when you actually get down on the ground and get real data, real world demand, it kills distraction. So you're not distracted and, looking for the next shiny object that you're trying to impress some founders. Yeah, you enable smart decisions. That's point number 7, not fundraising theater. So you're not trying to impress investors, and pretty difficult nowadays to impress investors. They're not as gullible as in the past. Um, During the dot-com era, everybody was just dumping money in the next IT or digital company that was coming up. Not anymore. Same thing now you see with AI. Everybody is keeping their money a little bit tighter, the investors, and they're investing wisely. It's going to happen to you as well. You got to give them a reason why they need to invest with you. So when you do a plan like this, without the distraction, you are replacing optimism with clarity. Nothing wrong with optimism, but sometimes when we are so thrilled about starting a company and thrilled about the idea of the innovation that we have, we can be over optimistic. And therefore, our clarity is clouded, just like the two pilots we saw earlier. They can't see through a darkened window. And one of the important things you got to also capture in a business plan or operating blueprint. Oops, I have used the bad word there. Not business plan, but operating blueprint, founder operating blueprint. Or if you prefer, you can even replace founder with CEO operating blueprint. Is you got to turn talent into growth lever, not a liability. So don't just look at it as headcount and expenses, but look at it as what exactly are you going to do to turn these people into talent that is going to perform in each one of the functions in your company today as well as in the future. And these plans have to be at least 10 years forward looking. Basic minimum is 5 years. That if you're starting off, should be 10 years. And as you reach phase 3 trials, then you can probably go for 5 years, provided that your phase 3 trials are going to have results before that 5-year period. And you should also, in your business plan or operating blueprint, show how, as the company progresses, as time goes on, it becomes less dependent on the founder. Nobody wants to see a founder which is leading a company throughout the entire life cycle of the organization. So you need to put into plans how you are going to be moving away from that business. And this would also build, a strong business operations, because you won't be fragile. You will know exactly where the problems are and how to tackle those problems as they arise. So those are stuff that you need to capture in your operating blueprint. And Because you are looking at reality, real world issues, and you have great clarity, it becomes an executable plan, not something which is theory and not trying to game the system with the bosses. And this will also help you scale the company by scaling the founder. So if you notice, 3 times the founder is mentioned in these 10 points about what needs to be included. All right. So if you have any questions, please put it into the comment box. Now, the next one, Palantir 2 or Crystal Ball 2 is what I call revenue ready marketing blueprint. Now, the word marketing may give you a clue as to what this is. No secrets. It is a marketing plan. In fact, I stopped using the word marketing plan for more than 10 years. I switched to the terminology marketing action plan to make sure that people who are in who are involved in my sessions that I work with are very clear that it's an action plan. It is not a theoretical plan. But quite recently, I've decided to be very clear that a marketing blueprint is about revenues. So when you get a revenue ready marketing blueprint, it is implementable immediately once it has been signed off by whoever needs to sign off. Of course, you as the founder, you need to sign off. The moment you sign off, the next day it should be implementable or executable. So when do you do it? Now, you only start doing it when you have started your phase 3 trials. Why? Because your phase 3 trials will probably give you about 2 years, maybe 3 years, if you're lucky, or maybe even slightly longer. But when your phase 3 trials start, you get a lot more clarity about how your product is performing in patients, and therefore you will be able to start generating some data, sales data, expense data, profit data, and who's going to manufacture. By that time, you probably are reaching out to CDMOs if it is not your own manufacturing services. And you got to do this every year. Every year you got to do it without fail. And you got to take a 5-year timeline into account when you are preparing your blueprint. Now, what products should you include in your marketing blueprint? If you got one product, well, that's the only one. There's nothing to think about. Up to 4 products, you should have a marketing plan for each one of your 4 products. Now, once it is more than 4 products, let's say 10 products, or even 6 products, what you should do, your marketing plan should only be for products that are going to give you 80% of your revenue in 5 years' time. Remember, it's a 5-year timeline. So that's why you're looking at 5 years. Don't look at 10 years. It's too far ahead. So all products that are going to be giving you 80% of your sales, you got to have a marketing blueprint for each one of them. Now, if you recall, this is the 80-20 rule. So if you got 10 products, only 2 of them are probably going to give you 80% of your sales, maybe 3 at the most. Well, maybe even 4. If you are lucky, you can get 4. And so that's the Pareto principle as well. That's the other name for it, the 80-20 rule. Now, when you do a marketing plan, this is the mistake I used to do. I used to, as a product manager, get the plan done by myself. And it was only when it was complete, the first draft, the first iteration, I would show it to my boss, the marketing manager, who would probably scan through with her red pen, and mark off the areas that I need to amend. But over the years, I've come to realize that if you do not include sales, it means you do not get a buy-in for your marketing blueprint. And that's a suicidal mistake, because a marketing plan ought to be implemented by the salespeople. Who else are going to implement? It's not the marketing guys, not in B2B pharma. It's the sales guys who are going to implement. Yes, of course, there are certain things that the marketing guys are going to be implementing, but the bulk of it is going to be sales. Now, you may have heard of this. You can have a great marketing plan, but a lousy sales team, and your plan will not go anywhere. But you can have a lousy marketing plan, but a great sales team, and you will still generate revenue. You may have heard of that, and that is a fact, provided you have great salespeople in the first place. Right. So when you do the marketing blueprint, if you want to make it revenue ready, then make sure you involve sales, you involve supply chain or manufacturing, you involve HR, finance as well, and whoever else that you may want to regulatory, your manufacturing partners, if it is not in-house manufacturing or uh, even that drug discovery, clinical trial CROs as well. So get as many people as you want involved, and that will make life a lot easier for you when it comes time for implementation. And it becomes a breathing document. So what should revenue ready marketing blueprint have? Now, if you have ever used a marketing plan, developed one, or sat in while one is being developed, you would know that they may have several elements. The one that I um, go through with the organizations that I work with, has got 9 elements. Now, I'm not going to show you what the 9 elements are, but of those 9 elements, these are the ones that I've highlighted below from 2 to 6 are the ones that I focus tremendously on, because you need to get this right if you want to make sure that your marketing blueprint generates revenue. You got to focus on your competitors. You got to know who your competitors are, new entrants, as well as those that are existing currently, those are going to be coming in the near future as well. You got to be very clear about your customers, who you're targeting. You got to be very clear about how you are differentiated. Your product is differentiated from the competitor. Now, if you cannot find a product differentiation, then you are what we call a Me Too product. And Me Too products, because they cannot be differentiated from a competitor, everybody is the same. It becomes a commodity, and therefore it is just sold on price. You don't even need um, an in-depth marketing blueprint. You just have to decide what the price is and go to market with that price. That's it. So number 2, very important. Number 3, from that, and number 2, by the way, is what I call an audit of the market, the environmental audit. So of course you are probably familiar with the others when you do the audit, the politics, the economic, social, technology, and all that. Good to have, but these 3 in number 2 are the essentials. You cannot run away from that. Now, after that comes the SWOT, and I do the SWOT slightly differently from others because of my experience in developing marketing plans that has generated market leaders, as I mentioned earlier. I put a lot of focus on the strengths and weaknesses rather than the opportunities and threats. Because your strengths and weaknesses, you got to be very real about it, not theoretical, not optimistic, not pie in the sky. All that would not work. You got to be very real. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses in comparison with your competitors? If you don't have many strengths and a lot of weaknesses, you better go and relook at the organization. Something is terribly wrong. Because if you do not get strong or higher number of strengths versus weaknesses, then number 4, the key issues and opportunities are going to be totally worthless, because you will not be able to identify the opportunities and what the issues that you need to work on are. And after that comes the positioning of your product, which I spoke about in a bit of length in last month's LinkedIn Live. So positioning is the differentiator, that that how you position your product so that it goes top of mind for your customers, whether it's the healthcare providers or your patients. Now, have a look at see what is happening with Wegovy pill. Just launched, I think, about 2 weeks ago, and it is on a high trajectory, like a rocket taking off. So recent Analysts have said that um, the next competitor would Eli Lilly would probably not be able to get the success that Wegovy pill has achieved when they launch. And number six is contingency, and contingency is extremely important. Now, let me just rewind a little bit. If you have ever been involved, or you have heard about um, business plans that are being done by many companies, the bosses would always insist that you have three sets of business plans. One is the basic. The other one is the pessimistic, and you need to create one which is the optimistic. Now, that's another way that you are playing games by having all this, because it's just massaging the numbers. You create the real one, which is the middle one, and then you tweak the figures down to create the pessimistic, and then tweak the figures up, massage it up to give an optimistic scenario. So that doesn't work. You don't need to do that, but you need to do that in the contingency. So while you are at the end of the marketing blueprint, the contingency section should have controls. When I mean controls, you should have milestones there. This is what will happen when this happens. This is what you will do when this happens. When sales is down in the first quarter by 20%, what will you do? Extremely important, because you cannot assume that it is down 20% in Q1, that by the first half of the year, you will be able to reach 100% of the target. Very seldom does it work if nothing is done. So you need to capture all that in the marketing blueprint before the new year. If you don't have one, you can still do it. It's not too late, because month two is just starting in a couple of days. So use the first 2 weeks of February. You can do a Speedy Gonzalez plan and get this churned out quickly. And once again, if this has been of any value to you and you want to discover more about how I could work with you, and identifying areas that you need to look at, even if you do not work with me, I will help you and identify which areas you need to focus on. Scan this QR code or type into your URL, your browser, this URL, snip.ly//show me. And let's schedule a discussion. And in that 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I'll be able to go through thoroughly um, what the future you desire is for your company and product, and how I'll be able to help you. And then you can make a decision how we should move forward. Now, as I promised, the investor mind reading tool. I like this this thing. DM me that you want this investor mind reading tool, and I will share it with you. And this tool will go in depth into what an investor, whether it's an angel investor or even a venture capitalist, is looking for to help them decide whether they should invest with you. So when you know this, you know exactly how to prepare your slide deck, your pitch deck, and maybe even tweak your founder operative blueprint as well as your revenue ready marketing blueprint. All right, everybody, thank you very much for spending this time with me. And I hope this has been valuable for you. And I look forward to seeing you at the next LinkedIn Live.